Right here in the front, there's a knob. Shaft goes all the way through. That same bar we just put up and down, now we're going to move it forward and back. So if this end is too far away, I'm just going to turn this knob and pull the shaft forward, and I'm going to bounce back and forth until I achieve the same number on this dial indicator. The Simplex Ideal that we just watched, they had a dual indicator. They stuck it on there and checked. What they were checking was front to back. They set the up and down earlier when they set their stone. And so they had the up and down set already. What they did the second was a double indicator. So rather than bouncing back and forth, they just stick it in there and they read the two gauges, and then they turn their knobs until both gauges read the same number. Much faster. It's a faster way, but they're doing the same thing. It's just faster. Once I achieve that, I've got this to where it's parallel forward and backwards and up and down, then I can finally grind. And you may spend anywhere from 15 minutes, if you're really good, to 2 hours trying to get this thing up and down and forward and back. And the reason why it can be so complicated is because there's so many pivot points. When you look at this thing, when I move that reel forward on the bottom, I'm anchored at the top with these rods. So you have to loosen up the rods just a little bit. They need to be enough to slide, but not so that the whole reel just falls out of place. And so if I forget to tighten these or loosen them up, when I move the bottom rod, the reel is anchored at the top. You move the bottom forward, but the top twists. And so you're bouncing back and forth, and you can't seem to get the number you want, and the reel is actually twisting. Same as going up and down. If you go up and down, it'll actually pull the reel forward or backwards. And so you have two knobs here that you're dealing with. You have two knobs here. You've got two knobs adjusting here. You've got 2 points right here, and adjustment knobs you have to play with here. You've got forward and backwards with a locking nut, and so you got to deal with those. You've got up and down and a locking nut. And so there's a lot of movement, a lot of places that you have to check to make sure that you're correct. If for some reason you don't get the points in tight and you're adjusting it and then it slips, you start all over. If you're adjusting forward and back and you get this too loose and it goes clink and it falls out of place, you start all over. And so it's time consuming. And so it's just tedious. And the secret here is you need to be focused, and you take every measurement that you have and you interpret it. What caused that measurement to be high or low? And you need to anticipate, when I move a lever, what else will change? And if you're paying attention to it, that's what makes it you can get it down pretty fast. If you're not, that's when it takes you 2 hours to get it set up.